Hello everyone. Uh, Today in this lecture we will discuss about parboiling of rice, which is under the course of AE 4202 Agri Processing Engineering to Unit 3. Okay, so let's get started. Parboiling. It is a pre-milling optional treatment given to paddy prior to its milling to achieve maximum recovery of heat rise and to minimize breakage. Okay, it is pre-milling optional treatment. It is not necessary parboiling each and every variety of paddy. Okay. On the other hand, parboiling is a hydrothermal treatment by partial cooking of paddy. Okay, and it is mainly carried out in order to reduce the breakage of paddy during milling operations. And another objective of parboiling to reduce the loss of mineral and vitamin during cooking. Okay. This method was first developed in some Asian countries to reduce the milling losses. Okay, about 60% of total production of paddy is parboiled in India. Okay, the basic method of parboiling are soaking, steaming, and drying. Okay, the paddy grain is mainly composed of polygonal starch granule. Starch is the main form in which plant store carbon. Okay. In paddy, the void or intergranular space are filled with air and moisture. Due to this, void cracks develop and it causes breakage during milling. Okay. This breakage may be reduced by gelatinizing the starch. So during gelatinization, starch swells and fill the void. So come to the next slide. Gelatinization of starch. During soaking of paddy, water penetration into starch granules and result in swelling of grain. Okay. In heating, the energy weakens the granular structure and more surface become available for water absorption and result in reversible granule swelling. This phenomenon is called gelatinization of starch. So gelatinization of starch is mainly carried out the reduce the breakage of paddy during milling operation. Okay. On the other hand, it is a process of breaking down the intermolecular bonds of starch molecules in the presence of water and heat, allowing the hydrogen bonding sites to engage more water. Okay. The temperature at which gelatinization takes place is known as gelatinization temperature. This temperature is around 70 degrees centigrade. Okay. The main objective of parboiling are number one, to increase total and heat rise yield of paddy. Okay. Number two, to prevent the loss of nutrient during milling. Okay. Number three, to salvage white or damaged paddy. Okay. Number four, to mill the rice according to requirement of consumers. Okay. Parboiling process. Okay, I have already discussed about the step of parboiling. These are soaking, steaming, and drying. Okay. So Uh, uh, in the figure show that various type of parboiling of paddy. Number one is paddy grain are soaked for a particular duration of time, that is soaking process. Number two, steaming process. After that, soaked paddy are transferred to steaming container where galvanizing of starch take place. Okay, and number three, drying. These grain are transferred to mechanical dryer or sun dryer in order to reduce the moisture from grain. Okay, there uh, theoretically the soaking of paddy can be done at or below it gelatinization temperature. Okay, so the soaking temperature should be less than the gelatinization temperature. Okay, the lower the temperature used, slower is the process of soaking, and vice versa. Um, Means higher the temperature, uh, faster the process of soaking. Okay, and soaking time can be reduced by subjecting the temperature to vacuum or few minutes before soaking, and soaking under pressure um, or in hot water. Okay, so soaking under pressure or vacuum reduce the soaking time. Okay, heat of galvanization of starch is supplied by um, saturated steam. Uh, Galvanization is mainly carried out to um, reduce the breakage of PD during milling operation. Parboiled PD may dried in shade or in the sun or with hot air. So the basic way we can dry the parboiled PD. Okay. Shade drying takes longer time but give excellent milling quality. Repeat drying in sun or with hot air causes higher breakage during milling. If we dry PD above the optimum moisture limit, it may cause higher breakage during milling operations. Okay, the most convenient practice is to dry PD in two passes with a tempering period in the moisture range of 15 to 19% oil basis. Okay, advantage of parboiling process. There are many advantages of parboiling process. These are: number one, milling yield increase and the quality is improved as there are fewer broken grain. Number two, the grain structure become compact and vitreous even if some kernel entirely or partially churned. Number three, the meal rice become translucent and shiny. Number four, the shelf life of parboiling paddy and milled rice is longer than the raw rice, as germination is no longer possible and the kernel become hard enough to resist the attack by insect and to absorption of atmospheric moisture. Okay, after parboiling, it is not possible germination of grain, and it have enough resistance power, so insect cannot easily attack the grain, and moisture absorption also is not possible by the grain. Okay. Mm. Number 5, the grain remaining firm during cooking and less likely to become sticky. And number 6, a greater amount of water is absorbed during cooking, causing the rice to swell. Number 7, after cooking, the rice absorbs less fat from added condiments and the rice keeps longer and does not become rancid easily. Okay. Parboiled rice retain more protein, vitamin and minerals. Number 9, parboiled paddy is more digestible and less solid are left behind in the cooking water. Number 10, shelling of parboiled paddy is easier. Number 11, bran of parboiled paddy has more oil. Okay. There are some disadvantages of parboiling process. These are: number 1, heat treatment during parboiling. Parboiling destroys some nutrient antioxidant. Okay, hence rancidity developed in parboiling paddy during storage is more than that in raw rice. Number 2, parboiled rice take more time to cook than raw rice and may characteristics of flavor which may not link by raw rice eaters. Okay. Number 3, parboiling of paddy needs some extra capital investment. Okay. Number 4, parboiling adds to the cost of drying. Number 5, as paddy is soft for a longer time during parboiling, it may attack by spores which may cause health hazards. Spores means fungus and one cell microorganisms. Okay. Number 6, more power is required for polishing or parboiled rice. The process becomes difficult and lower the capacity of polishers. In spite of the above disadvantage, 1 to 2% extra rice is obtainable by parboiling than raw rice milling. Okay. In India, if 50% of the paddy production is converted into parboiled rice, it is possible to save rupees 100 million by virtue of extra rice and it's by product value. Okay. Uh, the method of parboiling rice are classified into traditional method and modern method. Okay. Under traditional method, Atapa, Balam, Josh, Sela, Siddha, and number 6, parboiling. Under this, single boiling and double boiling method are carried out. And under modern method of the parboiling, are carried out. Number 1 is CFTRI method. Okay. Under this method, Central Food Technology Research Method. Number 2, Jadavpur University method. Number 3, converted process. Number 4, Malek process. Number 5, Avorio process. Number 6, Cristalo process. Number 7, Fernandez process. Number 8, Situ process. And number 9, Rice Coas Associate of Coliforming process. Number 10, pressure parboiling process. Okay, these are the method, modern method. Okay. Traditional method. Traditional method consists of soaking paddy in water at room temperature for 24 40 to 48 hours or more, steaming in kettles under atmospheric pressure and drying under the sun. In a single boiling method, in a single boiling method, paddy is soaked in ordinary water for 24 to 72 hours and then steamed. Okay. And in traditional method, steaming is carried out under atmospheric pressure and drying under the sun. So there is no mechanical advantage are used in traditional method. In dumpling boiling method, the steam is first injected in steaming kettle before soaking. Okay, hot paddy rises the temperature of soaking water to 45 to 50 degrees, which help to reduce the soaking time to 24 hours. Therefore, after soaked paddy is steamed, sometimes the soaked water is heated to about 50 degrees centigrade, then raw paddy is put into it, and in this case first steaming is not required. So under traditional method, time and soaking time uh, and temperature would be required, um, generally uh, more in case of soaking time, and temperature is required for or or soaking less. Okay. And modern method, under this method, first CFTRI methods. In this method, parboiling tanks are filled with clean water and heated to temperature of about 85 degrees centigrade by passing steam through the coil placed inside the tank. Okay. In this method, more mechanized than the traditional method. In these cases, high pressure and temperature use, less soaking time required. Okay. The resultant temperature of paddy water mixture in the tank stay around 70 degrees centigrade. After soaking paddy for 3 to 3.5 hours, the water is drained out. The water teacher's valve is kept open in order to remove condensed water during steaming. Soaked paddy is exposed to steam at a pressure of about 4 kg per centimeter square through the open steam coil. Okay. Soaking and steaming of paddy are done in the same tank. The parboiled paddy is taken out by opening the bottom door and dried either under sun or by mechanical dryer. So, in case of the method, high pressure, high temperature use and less soaking time is required. Okay. Number two, Jadavpur University method. All the operation of this method are fully automatic and average process time is 5 to 6 hours. Soaking of paddy is completed in high temperature 60 to 70 degree within 1 to 3 hours, while the steaming time is limited to 3.5 minutes. So, in this case, soaking time and steaming both are less than the other above mentioned method. Okay. After steaming and before drying, the paddy is repeatedly cooked. Drying takes place in a rotary steam jet high temperature air dryer. Okay. In this process, two different systems may be applied, with the first soaking and steaming taking place in the same tank, whereas in second, these two operations are performed in a horizontal operation. In both the cases, saturated steam is used. Okay, the steam paddy is repeatedly cooled in a draft of cold air. Okay. Number three, pressure parboiling process. This method of parboiling was developed by Tirubharu in Tamil Nadu. Okay. The parboiling process mainly carried out uh, under high pressure. Parboiling is achieved by penetration of moisture into the paddy in the form of water vapor under pressure. This results in volatilization of starch of kernel. The paddy is soaked for 40 minutes at 85 to 90 degrees centigrade. Thereafter, it is steamed under pressure for 18 minutes. So, in this process, temperature required more and soaking time is less than other method. Okay. The water vapor which penetrates the kernel drive out and trip air. It is reported that the whole process is complete in 1 to 1.5 hours. So this is very first method. The rice obtained by this method has a pleasing and slightly yellowish uniform color. Okay, reduced soaking period of paddy is the main advantage of this method. Okay. It was also observed that such parboiled paddy has better sealing efficiency, has more fat in bran, and increased storage life of rice. Okay, so in this lecture, um, we have studied what is parboiling process, why carry out the parboiling process, what are the different objectives of parboiling process, what is the genetizations of grain, advantage of disadvantage of parboiling, various type of parboiling process. Thank you very much listening me.